appointment and a big enough income.
Yes, then how wonderfully lovely the children will enjoy themselves.
No, but do you remember last Christmas when for 3 weeks beforehand you shut yourself in that room of yours? No, that was the dullest 3 weeks I ever spent.
I didn't find it dull.
Oh, because you had some precious little results, right?
You mustn't tease me that, Torvald. How could I stop the cats from running in and tearing everything
Okay, Nora,
into
stop
pieces?
crying. You had the best intentions for us, and that's the main thing. But it's a good thing our hard times are over.
Yes, it's
Come here, Nora. You know, this time round you didn't show in these dear eyes of yours and these pretty little hands.
I needn't do that any longer.
Of course.
No, Torvald, let me show you how we ought to arrange for the Christmas evening.
Okay, very well.
Ah, there's the bell. What a nuisance. I am very happy to be that Torvald has so much power over so many people in the bank. Now, Dr. Rank, would you care for a macaroon?
What macarons? But they thought they were forbidden here.
These are some Christine gave me.
What? No.
Christine, do not be alarmed. You did not know that Torvald had forbidden these things in this house. He says that they will destroy my teeth altogether. Now, Dr. Rank, by your leave. And you will have one too, Christine. And I will have one, two. Now there is only one thing that I would love to say. Torvald could hear me.
Well, what is it?
There is only one thing I would really love to. My husband is out, Mr. Crogster.
I know that.
What do you want here then?
I want with you.
With me?
Yes, I do.
Mommy, children?
Mommy, that's the same man. Look at the same man, mommy.
You wanted to speak with me?
Oh, yes, I do.
Today, it's not the first of the month yet.
It's only Christmas Eve, but it will depend on yourself what sort of Christmas you'll spend.
Today is very impossible for me, Mr.
Oh, we
Crogster.
won't talk about that until later on. I presume you give me a moment.
Yes, I can,
Ah,
although...
good. I was in Olsen's restaurant and I saw your husband going down the street
Yes?
with a lady.
What then?
May I make trouble to ask if it was a Mrs. Lynn?
Yes, it was.
Just arrived in town.
Just today.
She's a great friend of yours.
Yes, she is, but I don't see...
Oh, I knew her once upon a time.
I'm aware of that.
Oh, are you? So you know all about it. Then I can ask without beating about the bush. Is Mrs. Lynn to have an appointment at the bank?
How dare you, Mr. Krogstad, as subordinate of my husband, come here and ask me questions? Well, you're going to be answered. Yes, Mrs. Lynn is to have a post in the bank, and I am the one who pleaded her case, I can tell you that.
So I was right in what I thought then, huh?
Sometimes one has a little bit of influence, I hope. Especially if you're a woman, you do not have to follow all that. But you, Mr. Krogstad, and other subordinates should be so careful so as not to offend.
Those who have influenced Mrs. Selma.
Exactly.
Mrs. Selma will be so good as to use your influence on my behalf.
What do you mean?
She'll be so kind as to see that I'm allowed to maintain my subordinate post at the bank.
Who proposes to take your post in the bank?
There is no need to keep up with the pretense of ignorance, Mrs. Selma. I quite understand that your friend is not too anxious to exposing herself to chances of rubbing shoulders with you. And I quite understand whom I have to thank for being turned down.
But I assure you,
Let me tell you something that you use your influence to prevent that.
I have no influence, Mr. Krogstad.
Haven't you? But you just say that yourself.
Naturally, I didn't mean it for you to put it into construction. What makes you think I have such influence over my husband?
You have known your husband since our student days. I don't suppose there's anyone as valuable than other husbands.
Speak lightly of my husband, and I will turn you out of this
You're
house.
bold, Mrs. Selma.
I am no longer afraid of you. Soon the new year will come, and I will be free from all these things.
Now listen to me. If necessary, I am prepared to fight for my small post in the bank as if I were fighting for my own life.
So it seems.
And it's not only for the sake of mine. Indeed, that way is the least with me in the matter. I dare say that, just like everybody else, that I was once guilty of an indiscretion.
I have heard something of that kind.
The matter never came to court. But I had to do something. That is why I decided to take into the job that you know. I may honestly say that I have not been one of the worst, but I have to cut myself free from all that, Mrs. Selma. Look, my sons are growing up, and for their sake, I must win as much respect as I possibly could in town. That small boss in the bank was one step to that. But your husband wants to kick me down into the mud.
I have no power to help you at all, Mr. Krogstad.
Then it is because you haven't the will, but I have the means to pay.
Do you mean you're going to tell my husband about the money that I owe you?
Suppose I were to tell you.
That will be perfectly infamous for you, Mr. Krogstad. For my husband learning my joy and pride through such an ugly and clumsy way, through you, Mr. Krogstad, that will put me in a horribly disagreeable position.
Only disagreeable.
Okay, well, you want to do it. Do it then. Then my husband will see for himself what sort of a blackguard you are and you will still lose your post.
Now listen to me. Either you have a very bad memory or little business, I'll be obliged to remind you of something.
So what do you mean?
When your husband was ill, you came to me to borrow 200 pounds.
I had no one else.
I promised to get you that amount of money.
Which you did?
I promised to get you that amount of money on some certain conditions, Mrs. Selma. But your mind was carried up with your husband's illness and you seem not to pay attention to our conditions back. Then it will not be amiss if I remind you of something.
What do you
I
mean?
promised to get you that amount of money on a security of a bond which I did.
Which I signed.
Ah, good. But below your signature, there are some few lines constituting your father's surety about the money, which he himself should have signed.
Should? He did sign them.
Ah, good, Mrs. Selma. But I had left some lines blank. That is to say that your husband himself should have, that your father should have inserted the day which is dated his signature there. Do you remember that?
Yes, I think I remember.
Then I gave you the money to send by post to your father, Mrs. Selma.
Yes?
Oh, let me ask you a question. And then you brought me the bond 5 or 6 days later, naturally, Mrs. Selma.
Understand?
Oh, look here, Mrs. Selma. Your father died on the 29th of September, but he dated his signature on the 2nd of October. That's a discrepancy, isn't it, Mrs. Selma? Can you explain that to me, Mrs. Selma? Hey, it is a remarkable thing, too, that the word 2nd of October, as well as the year, are not written in your father's handwriting. But in one that I know of, Mrs. Selma. Oh, maybe your father may have forgotten to date his signature, and someone may have done it haphazard without knowing of his death, Mrs. Selma. Oh, it is genuine, never mind. It only depends on the signature of the name, Mrs. Selma. Maybe I suppose that it was your father himself who dated his signature here.
No. It was I who wrote Papa's name.
You know that is a dangerous confession you're making.
In what way? You shall have your money soon.
Selma, it would have been better for you to give up your trip.
I couldn't have given up that trip. It saved my husband's
And
life.
did it occur to you that you're committing a fraud on me, Mrs.
I
Selma?
couldn't have taken that into account, Mr. Krogstad. I couldn't have troubled myself with you. You knew what dangerous condition my husband was in, yet you put so many heartless difficulties on my way.
Mrs. Selma, I dare say that you have a little clear knowledge of what is that you've just done.
Do you want me to believe that you will risk everything to save your wife's life?
And the law cares nothing about motives, Mrs. Selma.
Then it is a very foolish law.
Foolish or not, it is by the law which you will be charged if I produce these papers in court.
It's impossible. Isn't a daughter supposed to save her own dying father's life and free him from anxiety and care? Isn't a wife supposed to save her own dying husband's life? I do not know much about law, Mr. Krogstad, but I am very sure there are some laws permitting such cases. Don't you have any knowledge on such laws? You're a very poor lawyer, Mr. Krogstad.
Maybe matters of business such as you and I have had together, Mrs. Selma. But do you think I don't know about that? Let me tell you something. If I lose my position for a second time, you shall lose yours with mine. Bye, Mrs. Selma.
Tayo stood in the shadows by the window, her back to the room.
From a vantage position, the third floor of the building went flat.
She had a bird's eye view of the exploring town.
Beneath her, down on the courtyard, she could see her father moving and passing.
He was directing and organizing, with obvious shortness of temper, the loading of 2 ton lorries.
He was gesticulating violently.
Apparently reprimanding the loaders for being slow and inept in carrying out their duties before them.
Tayo
Welcome, brother. Welcome. 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 Hero. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. Hero. Welcome home. Ah, brother. Wow, how are you?